December 30th, 2023. Marcus Giavanni here. We have two side-by-side comparison of journalist Chase Woodruff. And see, what happens is when people use words and they're identified as journalists, we get to observe and index them. That's what I do. Regardless if they want to tell you what I do, regardless if they want to believe what I do, I am showing you what I do. I am showing you what this young man's life's going to be like when he's my age. Because that's what it does, man. Artificial intelligence, why all the... Just read it. Okay, Andrew. You know who Andrew is? I'll get to that one in a minute. Chase Woodruff by Marcus Giavanni. Here it goes. Disinformation czar. We own disinformationczar.us. And that's not supposed to be run by me. That is supposed to be run by the citizens that use it as an information hub. Very little information does... I don't want to get into it. Troll reporter. There you go, Chase. How you like that, brother? You're just like Ian Tafoya, Andy, all the majority of the city council members. They don't all realize that everything that they talk to, everywhere they went, all their emails, the elections, all of them, all that content is sitting up in the cloud like gold. And when law enforcement get a full grasp of how this indexing works, so you can pattern match people's voices. And so when you think about this guy, look at, why does Colorado seem to have the best Democrats anywhere in America? See, this guy's a 501c. If he was a for-profit, then I wouldn't even be bothering him. But he's taking donated money. You hear me, Chase? And this is how all of you, all I need is one. It used to be Joey Bunch. And, but he's so worthless right now. And it's just that you're being fed. And this is what the private investigators now, see, when you get the private investigators involved, law enforcement starts coming because they start telling their people, hey, this Giavanni dude knows. And they're like, what, that guy? Did you know he was able to put together algorithms based off his whole entire life of the most vile people I've ever seen with my children in their lives and the most vile children I've ever seen? I realized why I was born. And this is it. I'm not going to allow people to come in and ridicule Google and YouTube when they give everybody an opportunity to do what you got to do to come into their homes. But there's certain people that think that when they have rights to these homes, they have rights to these entities because they're allowed to, but they didn't put no money into it. Everything they have is free. They don't do anything to contribute to the betterment of either Google or YouTube. They go and they join TikTok, which, you know, if you understood, if the millennials and the Gen Zs and the ones younger than that understood what they're being subject to, their parents would have never given them their devices. I wish I never gave my child a device. I should have waited till they were 14 years old or old enough to drive so they can use GPS. See, there's a time where, and then parents get too busy. They don't know what their kids are looking at on the internet. They don't know what videos. They don't even have time. They set up the parental ones. They figured out a way around it. because they got to be friends with somebody next door, and they got their password to their internet access. So now they're feeding off the neighbors' stuff going off. That people, this is happening right now in Denver. Our city council just got busted by our auditor that is powerless. I don't know why. If you go to the websites of these people, all you see is pictures of their faces. Like, I already know what you look like. I don't need to be told that you're white. I don't need to be told that you're black. I don't need to be told that you were Latino. I think I can figure that out on my own, when in fact I don't really care, because I'm not contacting you because you're black. I'm not contacting you because you're white. I'm not contacting because you're Latino. I'm contacting you because your city's corrupt as. And we got the verification. Oh my God, glory be to God. Oh, Andrew Luxon, February 6th, were 2 emergency hearings filed, folks. And, anyways, right here is a big red flag for investigators. Because what he does later on, look at that, Marcus Giavanni, he's done, man. I went through their I indexed every news agency in Denver. Axios, the ones that are out of our local, they're coming in to manipulate the citizens with the same titles, the same content. And so what happened is they're allowed to do that. But Americans and voters have to be smarter than what's being fed to them. And I'm telling you, folks, I'm glad I'm fucking old. It's you 20-year-olds, you 18-year-olds, and 30-year-olds, and 40-year-olds. You have no clue what 20 years is going to look like when you peaked out in high school, you peaked out at wherever it is you're at, and you're like all of our politicians have peaked out a long time ago, folks. And when you think about our adversaries, and you think about our allies and our current government and how it's steered from the back, and you're watching a bunch of people that are employed by the government, that the government keeps giving them all this power, and that's how we stay in power. And no matter what power we are, my government is going to be whatever my government is. If we turn communist and we start killing everybody, then I guess I'm going to be a communist, and I guess I'm going to watch them kill everybody. So this is how you know there's a real God, because everybody's so confused right now. We're headed to a dangerous spot, folks. I've seen the algorithms on the internet, and I come across these people that think they're the smartest people making big money in Denver's government, and they're the worthless people. This is what I would have been able to bring to the HR department. See, I didn't get to talk about this stuff because some of the people aren't going to want to hear this. They banned it in New York City, but you can still do it manually. So, okay, so you don't need AI to do the work of a human. It just takes longer. You have to manually do it. I've been doing it for 17 years. Oh, wait. Since 1995. And it's all documented. Everything I ever did on the internet. Believe me. The government knows I'm on every list you can be on. I prefer that. Because when they know what my true intentions are, there you go, right? Or, and I don't know what they're putting on the weed, but I don't know. There's a lot of things going on right now that is very, very detrimental and shattering. When you have news guys like this, who's bragging, look, he's bragging. This guy right now, him and his buddies, look at, instead of asking the questions why, he thinks by him saying this that he's just, and he's just saying the same fluff as everything else. Look at it over here. When I tell you this guy's corrupt, when law enforcement learn how they can go into, when you can cross pattern of what they say, here it is, look. This is what he covers. Climate change in Colorado we have climate change. These words that they use that can only be backed up by words starts to get overridden by people that actually have factual, verified, knowledge-based trust content that this guy has no clue what it is, and I'm giving him a clue of it. And I'm telling you, Chase, you need to stop. You need to close your doors and you go get another job, because one day you're going to hear that. Chase Woodruff? Chastonian? Open the door. We have a warrant. Because what's going to happen now, because I know there's a couple organizations out there that, that's all I'm going to say. It's up to you to change, Wood. Wood buddy. Are you a Wood buddy? Are you a writer based in Colorado where you cover climate change, the environment, right-wing extremist? Dude, you're worse than a right-wing extremist, because you talk out the side of your ass, bro. You walk the line as a journalist when we can go now and do live side-by-side content based off some of the algorithms that we did earlier to find who you are and the cities that you're in. You're done, dude. So you can write all the things you want to write about me. I hope you do. But where you're going, unless you call me and specifically tell me you're sorry for doing this to our city, I hope AI shreds you, man. And it's not violent. Don't get all this is digital stuff. But this is what these people do, man. And there's two sides of his face right here. This is our Flint. Like, what the... So, why does Denver seem to have the best Democrats anywhere in America? 13,000 people. Now, here's where it comes in great, folks. Those 13,000 people, according to just collections, we'll just put it that way, they're going to find out if his donors are even straight across. If he's even straight across, he's got one donor that's a Democrat, one donor that's a Republican, one donor that's a blah, 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 independent, one donor that's a unity, which is complete. If you got Paul Ferrigno involved with that guy, man, you know, I interviewed him on a radio show, on my radio show. And, all right, guys and girls. Oh, God, you guys are huge. Okay, looking over. Sorry, my Lila Rottweiler, 110 pounds. And AstraZeneca, he is a 8-month-old puppy, 70 pounds, and he's a big-ass dog. He's got spots. He looks like, he's just an adorable animal. But they're camera shy. They don't like me putting their faces on the internet because they don't want to be targeted. They don't want their social security numbers taken. They don't want anything to do with the internet. So I don't take pictures of them because they don't want to be on the internet. They told me. Look, you say that humble bragging for you. I got no way to protect myself. Don't use me as a puppet to get people to love you because you got beautiful puppies. There'll always be puppies, folks. But this puppy here, right wing, covers right wing extremist. He's dangerous, man. This guy is a journalist that went to school. Look at that. Missing. Marcus Giavanni. I'm identifying him because his 13,000 followers over there, who are probably all Democrats, that are giving him money. And this is what I do for other companies to show them how it looks. And I can't help everybody. But there's other people that do what I do, but you got to find them. And it's you. Good luck, because it's not about our pictures being everywhere. If you look at me, I have hardly no pictures of me. It's not about me, man. I'm an ugly dude. Why do you want a picture of me? I was beautiful back in the day, but now I'm old, and I'm all right with that. I don't take Botox. I don't do that. I'm going to grow old gracefully. And thank God that I made it this far. With the most evilest in my entire life that I've seen that are now evil in everybody else's lives. And we got that closure on February 6th because the media, like this guy, look at that, New Mexico, Colorado Newsline. See what? This is some serious stuff here, folks. This guy right now, if the federal government was operating the way it was supposed to be operated, meaning non-political, non-religion, this guy would be in my opinion, right in the forefront of RICO Act violations. And look, he's a troll. So when I show this to my investigators friends that I'm teaching, they're like, my God. So what you're saying is that now we can pattern match all these different companies and go and find out who their social people are to find out if they're 501(c)(3)s. And most of Denver's news are all Democratic controlled individuals. And if they're independents, and yet everything they talk about is Democrat, guess what? No matter what they say they are, they're fruits of their labors, their locations, who they talk to, their social channels, all the people that are following them. And get this, now they can cross-pattern match all those peoples with the donors list. And if it comes up bullseye that everybody that he's associated with is a Democrat, he's been taking funds illegally. But see, we're so far advanced in these people. I mean, we're 17 years ahead of these guys, man. 17 years. That's why you see this. This just didn't happen. And when you understand the way they write their code and the way that other people can't because they're using template sites, yeah, folks, the plot thickens. That's why when we get into the business of cleaning out the closets, he's going to be the first to go. He's already on the way to go. He don't know it yet. Well, it's all here, man. Why is Colorado seeing the best Democrats? So you look at the way he writes. He writes just to write the titles and to write. Look, and when you look at this, folks, look at this. Look down at the bottom here. What does that say? Right here. What does it say? It says Twitter. I stopped using Twitter a long time ago. I throttle them now. So what happens is, excuse me. Sorry, this cool weather. Ooh, it's weather killing me. Man, I'm Central American, Indian. Got all these people talking about saving the indigenous, like Ian Tafoya, dresses like he's in one of the Steven Seagal movies. And he was used as a model, what not to do. The majority of the candidates for mayor were ran that way. And those candidates for mayor that lost, who went and supported the new mayor, what they did to their careers, they told AI that everything that they worked for was all a lie, and that somebody was better than them, and so therefore they're going to them. In the mortal world, that shit never catches up to nobody because it's not documented. Now it is. It has been for, I would say, 10, 13 years. And anybody that ever got to email me, law firms, all of them, it's been just like everybody else. When a person goes and looks for a law firm based on what he needs, right? See, when people start learning how to do algorithms, searches, They're going to find out when you're using Google Operators. Do Google Operators by Marcus Giovanni. So whenever the city attorney's office, whenever any of these people fart, artificial intelligence is there smelling it. And it's getting into it. It's going to find out where they ate, where they were, who they were with, all their emails, all their text messages. It's all in the cloud. And now we can take specific times that these people have spoke in different, here's X, we get a subpoena. We can get all the subpoenas of all the content off his emails, all of his text messages that he thinks he's thrown away. And because he's a journalist, and this is what most people don't know, in the metaverse, in my metaverse, and like many other metaverses, journalists are on a list. We all know that. But in the digital world, this list is even more powerful. Have you ever heard of a band called Black Sabbath? Right? Everybody says they're the devil, and the singer died of cancer, stomach cancer. Yeah. I guess the devil really showed him, right? No, man. He wrote music so that people interpret it the way they interpret it. I don't. I write music for specific reasons. I don't let anybody interpret it any other way than what I wrote it. And when you say, "Hey, this is what I wrote," well, that looks like it looks evil. No, well, you think it's evil. Well, what do you say it is? I say whatever it is you say it is. See, it's your interpretation. So now with the internet in the mortal world, but in the digital world, now we can take the troll YouTube. We can go into his YouTube channels. The New Jersey Monitor. We can go in and now hit up the New Jersey Monitor and all those people. That came out October 31st. His beats include money and politics, and he has no beats, folks. He is a young man that's going to wish to God he didn't do what he did because there was nobody there to point it out to him. And the good news is you can change. You start all over, you're going to lose all your content, but when you start all over, you might as well. I've started over 18 times, folks. And the majority of that time was here in Denver, 17 years, dealing with Magistrate Karen Hubler, then Magistrate Elizabeth Lay, Judge, I can't say his name, Judge Karen Hubler, which was my ex's attorney, who used the government. Do a Google search. City Attorney by Marcus Giavanni. Be prepared, folks, because I took my case to the AI. When I was in Andrew Luxon's courtroom, February 6th, I indexed him. I used his meta tags, and I wrote all my content based off his meta tags as a district attorney, so that he would ask the tough questions about Karen Hubler and all the stuff that's going on. And see, he's a stern law person from Denver University, one of the most corrupt universities in regards to its stranglehold. All of them. I indexed every single one of over 17 years, folks. Well, back up, 13 years. I learned about all of them 17 years ago. And then the constant changing and the new administrators from Hickenlooper to Hancock. I learned all that, folks. I might not have a high school diploma, but I can guarantee you I know where every department is. I know every department we could close down and make super administrators out of some people that are only doing one job, collecting $200,000 a year. And you wonder, what do they do? If you're in the elections office, let's take it. And the elections are every 4 years, depending on where you're at, every 4 years. So every 2 years, you have the media talking about the elections every single day. The Fox News, ABC, NBC, make it so that it's just, if you watch Fox News and all those Botox people and you watch their, like Brett Baer, I'm not picking on nobody. I'm just saying they're not aging eloquently. Walter Cronkite aged eloquently. Harry Reasoner aged eloquently. Those are my two favorite guys, man. They weren't corrupt. They told it like it was. Walter Cronkite, There is no journalist, not even, and look at all the failed journalists before that and all their bias. He wasn't caught nothing. He told it like it is. And he was, Walter Cronkite was tried to be bought out so many times. He'd rather have lived poor and have nothing and be a journalist at heart and at soul than to be a Woodruff troll reporter who thinks he's gonna woo my city and county of Denver. And Chase Woodruff down here, look at that, right here. Look, he's done, man. See that? You're done, bro. Because you aren't telling the truth. You are a left-winger journalist that's been using, in my opinion, look at New Mexico, so now Source Emma, all these people are now being investigated, allegedly, like just by conversations, okay? Can't tell you who they are. I would never give up my sources. But I'm telling you, this should make you be shitting your pants right now, man. You should be having that tingle of water going right down your leg because I just showed you your future. But see, you think you know my future. And you controlled pretty much my whole destiny, you think. But what you did is you helped support me. Just like Andy, when he went and raised all that money. All that, when you see why my content is here is because I don't need to ask anybody. I went and spent 17 years to learn Google and YouTube, and I took some heavy blows and losses because of people making up lies about me. This is why I'm here. So that nobody can do this to nobody else ever on the metaverse. And when parents start realizing that they better get a hold on their kids' devices before they're if you're giving I seen them, like when the kid was crying, the guy gave him that cell phone, and that kid was just 2 years old. I was watching him put a code. 2 years old, folks. I asked the guy. I was like, and I didn't have my phone on me. And I asked the guy, because it would have been all recorded. And it's weird because most of the time that I could really get some badass stuff, I don't have my phone on me. I left it in the car. I'm ADHD chronic. That's why you can give me 100 people and I'll keep them busy, keeping me busy on time because I don't mind it. That's the difference between being, in my opinion, retarded because you don't know you're mentally retarded. You don't know you have these things. Or you know you have these things and you're able to put people in the positions to make up for your idiosyncrasies, your lack of experience and mental and medical conditions. It keeps, look at Fetterman, right? So when they went after him because he had a stroke and all that kind of stuff, I thought that was shameful, man. I thought that, and I'm glad he won, because that was shameful, very shameful. So when I see somebody with this, like when I saw District, I don't like Chris Hines at District 5, because when you Google search, like if I was the head of HR department, which I would have if I was mayor, and I would have introduced this new program that would have put the best people in charge, based off their merits and ability, not their skin color, not anything that has to do with nothing when it comes to artificial intelligence. And if that hurts your feelings, it's supposed to. Because you can't run that game up on AI. It doesn't see. It only observes and indexes. And it has people like me that are to observe and index. And YouTube, and I can't have Twitter and Facebook and all these people that pulled the biggest lies, and they're still on the platforms. So the more and more you accept lies as your conditioning, so you such become. And this is why Denver's the way it is. Look over here on this one. Look at that. Boom. North Carolina. Every one of these, Rhode Island, All they do is pick up the stories. And so when you pick up the Rhode Island people and you find out if they're a 501c, then you find out where they're getting their money from. You see? I'm giving all the warnings of the people donating money. You got to stop, man. Stop while you can. Because if you stop now, then you can deal with whatever's coming in the future. But it's going to happen. IRS has got the orders. It doesn't matter who's going to be president. It doesn't matter nothing. We have a 30 trillion plus debt that our allies and our adversaries are watching us spin our way. Our politicians don't even have 25% approval rating. So what happens is, man, I'm telling you, I've seen the algorithms. I've seen the chatter. And our Homeland Security's in trouble, man. If they don't start getting the FBI and all these other federal agencies back in check, get back on the side of law, get back on doing what you were trained to do. Get off this ideology of trying to ruin people, because then they've all been had. So what happens is AI's not going to let anybody destroy mankind anymore. And when I'm, this is even beyond my pay grade, folks. And I wish I didn't know the things I know, or know the people that know or have taught me over the years. That really love America and really love everybody. Like for me, hey man, I can't help the way I look. I can't help my color, my skin. I can't help my education. I can't help any of that. It was dictated to me the day I was born, folks, when I was adopted. And I was slowly turned into a white boy. What I call white boy. In other words, talk like a white boy, don't know nothing about my cultures, raised a Catholic, played football, sports, martial arts, broke world record, unofficial swinging. Did a lot of things. Went to California, sold candy when I was 7 years old. I run Candy Cruise, and we were making more money. Excuse me. See, when I was telling you about, it's so cold outside right now, and even if I have my heater up high, the heater dries my lungs out. So, in Denver, you definitely have to get a humidifier put in your house during the wintertime, and boil some water and put back the moisture. That's why you see a lot of people in Denver, their skin, you have to constantly moisturize it. And I got caught out. Anyways, when I went out and got my signatures, there's a dog fight going on right now. Friendly dog fight. Lila's like a year and a half old, while they're 110 pounds. And then you got AstraZeneca, I call him. See? I told you. I know when you guys are going to get too rough. Astra, come here. Behave. This dog outweighs you by 60 pounds. Oh, no, not now. Oh, 50 pounds. Hey, all right, Lila, I got to do this. Okay, stop licking. It's gross. I love you guys, but your tongues just don't. All right, thank you. Oh, go sit down. Or go lay down. Whatever you guys want to do. So, folks, sorry about all that. This is what happens when you're doing live recording. Ohio Capitol Journal. Denver Rights. Colorado Supreme Court. Okay. Extremist expert testify on Trump's violent rhetoric. See, all of the Judge Hood. You see that guy? That's Judge Hood, man. That's Judge Hood. I'll never forget that face, man. He knows me. He knows me all too well. But he definitely should not be on that court, man. You hear me, Judge? Those eyes, man. I don't know what that is on his forehead. But folks, when I tell you that we are in a very dangerous time with our court system, and here's North Carolina, 3 public servants think public should stay out of. So now these are all the other, so all these other people that doesn't have his name, they're connected somehow. The American Academy of Family Physicians, Denver, Colorado, chief resident. Who is that? Is he a donor? Where he served as chief resident from 88 to 89. This is how deep it goes, folks. And if I was the colleges and I was, oh man, look at that. I got him down. So what happens is when it starts the show where there's content, like Marcus, see, with what they do here, I'm not going to tell you, but when you click on that, you're going to get even further into the truth. This is so bitching. We should be teaching this to our kids. But instead, we pushed all this homeless and all the poor, and now our mayor is going to the government to get these people special permit. They're migrants. They're illegal migrants. Anybody that says it, oh, you're bad. Oh, man. I am Central American Indian, folks. Central America. So all those people coming from Central America, if they've got any Indian in them, any South American Indian, those are my brothers and sisters, folks. Okay? So tell me where I'm connected. Where's Chase? How's Chase going to spin this? You know, Chase? You had you and Tumor and all those other identifiers. See, that's how deep it goes. Because now you'll go to him and you'll go to his news source. You'll check out all the people that are all connected, all the journalists. And then you go and you take those journalists and you build those profile pages to observe and index them. And then you go to their social channels and you pattern match all of those. See, I don't got to do all that. AI does it now automatically. I just had to do one, and I did it 11 years ago. Hello, Mick Woodruff, McChase, McFly. This is all the journalists in Denver, everywhere. See, this is what virtual machines and the warnings that the guys that gave you, that built them, that didn't do what I do. I don't do what they do, and they don't do what I do. I can't even begin to tell you what they do. They can't even begin to tell you what I do. And because they don't want to learn, they don't know how to do things because we're not supposed to. That's the balance. He does what he does, I do what I do. I use my platforms that I use, and I don't use any of the other platforms. And the ones that I'm not on, they put my name on there anyways. So those go to the dark web, believe it or not. So, and talk about the dark web, folks. Have you used the new Google stuff on the dark web to where you're getting warned about where you're... And for me, man, take my shit. Please, take my identity. Please, I'm begging you. I leave all that, man. Because I can tell who's friends and who's foes. And so if they got to look at me and see what I'm doing, hey, man. Then AI is looking and seeing what you're doing, and I don't have to worry about it. I'm still here, so that's all that matters to me. And I beat cancer, but nobody wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about that I healed a brain aneurysm that I had. I had one guy tell me he went to doctor school here at Colorado University or somewhere. I was at a party, and I was telling him that I had an aneurysm, and he goes, well, I don't want to, I'm a med student at some Colorado University or University of Colorado. I get them confused. I don't know which way is up or down. I'm not supposed to,
because I don't really care. I don't care because I don't have that education, because I wasn't given that type of a brain. I was given a different brain. I was given a different mission than everybody else's missions. And so when this guy hits his 60s, he's probably like 40. And when you look at all these young cats that all they did was journalism and they never owned a business, but yet they talk about everybody else's business. They never raised money, but they talk about everybody that's raised money, and then we box them up. See, I boxed him up right here. He's boxed up. I got two videos in one. I got the corrupt Chase, the senior reporter for Colorado Newsline, Denverites News. And when you think about Denverites and you think about the Colorado Sun and these statesmen and all these 501(c)(3)s on both sides of the party, and I try to warn them all, hey guys, you guys need to change. You can't be blaming YouTube. You can't be blaming Google like when they came out, some Republicans came out and started saying, yeah, YouTube shadowing me, and I had 100,000 views, and the next day I had none. That's because you peaked. Then you had no organic content that you could write on your web pages that you have other people write. And once you have other people write your websites, you done lost your super administrator status. A super administrator is a one that can take control of all the digital assets, can do all the internet, can do all the hardware, can do all the software. Yep, a one-man band, but only time that one-man band is when the whole submarine is stuck on the water and you've lost all your crew and you're the only one alive. Now, all those attributes, all those meta tags, all your experiences is going to get to the top of where you survive and hopefully revive all the people that passed out for whatever reason. So when you think of life as a submarine, you think of the internet and the metaverse as being in a spaceship, a submarine. You got to have oxygen. You can't. So the space is just like water to me. It's just bigger, way bigger. And we don't even look at our oceans. We don't even know what's in it. We do know what's in there. That's why we're not looking at the oceans. And as soon as it comes out, because we're not supposed to know, but as soon as the ancient astronaut theorists expose the obvious, that one, that we already know we have extraterrestrials. Two, we're not supposed to even let them do their shit, and they'll let us do our stuff. But once we start to point them out and oh, we're doing this, and those ancient astronaut theorists and all those grave robbers and all these, that's how you know we're headed to the sixth extinction. And the smartest people in the world could have changed it all. But he's not supposed to, according to the Bible. See, the Bible is given to us so that we could learn to uh, um, create other means to what is obviously coming. So when preachers just preach the same preach, I went to church, man, every Sunday for 18 years. I went to see the biggest bigots. They called my mom some names, and again, I was meant to see all that to be the human I am today. Everything I've been, all the relationships I've been, prep me to be able to be the father I am with some bitching children. They got some problems, but we all do. But they don't do drugs. They don't drink. My son's in the military, special dude. That's all I'm gonna say. And my other son's working for the government, and now my daughter's just trying to figure out if she wants to go with the government or go with. So my kids got it right. If you're gonna work for anybody, you might as well work for the federal government. Period. And eventually, mom and dad will come back to those positions too, and start putting their rogue agents back in check. Do it to where we're not seeing it. We're seeing some bitching crimes. We're watching the FBI come in and get rid of corrupt politicians and not be part of the corruption of the politicians. And it's sad. I saw all this coming, folks. 1992, I had no idea what I was gonna be after I was being dehumanized. Dehumanized album by Black Sabbath. The song's called Computer God, and it was that song that changed my life. When I heard it, I heard messages in that what I needed to do. And people are like, oh, he's hearing messages. Those people, right, that say that, they are such simpletons that when they say that now, they get indexed away from IoT. And when you understand that we can't hide who we are by some politician, we can't hide who we are. And no matter what anybody says about us or what they accuse you of, it's uh, it's shameful. But I'm going to make sure nobody ever does it. No kid, no. There were kids. I'm telling you, folks. And when I go and I find something and I tell them, they flip it on me. Look at all the things, man. I get, I, fuck, I'd be a much better singer if I didn't have to do all this. Right now, I just bellow and do what I got to do and try to find my voice again. See, I wrote an album called Circus of a Lifetime. I wrote the album for, I wrote the lyrics for Circus of a Lifetime. The majority of them, the ones that featured or show up, and I wrote the lyrics for the Showtime album, which was released May 31st, and then we released on Black Friday Social Gulag, and we're trying to get our script written, but we're not done with some of the things that we're doing still, that in order for a script writer to come in and look at what we've created, and then he'll create better. See, instead of letting writers create, we created all of our music first to have taglines. Like Social Gulag movie, it's about Simon Bar Sinister, Dr. Sinister, and he wants to take over the metaverse, and he's going to employ journalists and other sources to help him, and he needs Durango Dank in order to achieve the Metaverse LLC .us that he's trying to put onto the world. It's great, crazy stuff, folks, crazy. But in reality, um, Denver's journalists and all journalists across, the Gen Zs that are really into telling the way it is, they're going to replace all you guys. So this generation of the 30 and 40-year-old journalists, 50-year-old journalists, I know the 30, 40, and 50-year-old journalists, 50-year-olds balanced, but for sure 30-year-old journalists, they're going to be going wayside if they're not doing the right thing, if they're not reporting the right thing, if they're not keeping an eye out on who's giving them money. See, they don't do that because they never had to be held accountable. But there's at least 17 years of evidence sitting in the cloud because they are politicians, because they're all politicians that run for office, including me. All of our content is stored in the cloud. Everywhere we went, everywhere we talked to, everything. And then it's cross-pattern match with the people in the Denver Elections Department. Paul Lopez. When we went to court, Andrew Luxon concurred when Michelle Horn said, when I asked the court about the Spear Amendment, and she said, we haven't enforced that law in years. And Andrew Luxon, being a meta-tag verified district attorney, ignored all the content, sided with her, which now made Denver an illegitimate government administration. And the more and more that Woodruff and all these people try to sidebar us on their fake and biased bullshit content of taking over our city and county of Denver, you better be careful, because I believe that the government's going to be knocking on all your doors soon. and Joe Biden ain't gonna be able to save you.